All right, so driving tests. Now, in this country, since COVID, since the pandemic, bro, people have been struggling to get driving tests. There's like, you have to overpay like 5-6 times the price to get a driving test, bro. My cousin, who's turning 25 soon, I know I routinely mock for not having his driving license, has been trying for ages, paid extra for tests. There was even one instance where he went I don't even remember where, but just know it was Quay out, yeah? In his sister's husband's car, yeah? And they get to the examination place and the examiner wastes 10 minutes observing the car, and the examiner finds one missing bolt in one of the wheels and says, we cannot do the test. He tried, after he's waited like 4 months for this test, he's tried to screw it in. He screwed in the screw. The instructor said, no. Is there a place we can take it? Instructor said, there's no place you can take it that's local to get this screw put in really quickly. And he had to drive back to London, you know, still without his license. And he said when he came out of the place, there was literally a shop next door that could have screwed in the bolt. He reckons the examiner was racist. You never know. You never know these days, bro. But the BBC have done an investigation into driving tests, driving test touts. For those of you guys that don't know what touts are, because I never knew. I found out the meaning of the word touts when I was younger, when my uncle was taking me to Tottenham games. Come on, and 2-0 against Brentford. Come on, Arsenal lost. You know, things are returning back to normal. All right. I knew touts means ticket sellers. Well, touts. That's how I found out what the word meant when I was younger. But driving test touts offer instructors £250 monthly kickbacks. So the resellers, pretty much they're resellers. And the BBC, they released a video on this, but I just wanted to go through the article and take a look at, we'll just read through it together, you know, we'll just read through the article together. It says, watch the BBC confront Anil Ahmed, who buys driving instructors' login details and sells the tests online at a markup. He claims he says the claims we put to him are a complete fabrication. There we go.
My understanding is that your name's Anil Ahmed. You've been running a driving test price scalping scheme for the last couple of years.
And to be fair, bro, I don't think it's fair to try and paint Anil, I think his name's Anil, to paint Anil as like a very bad guy. He's just, it's business. We live in a capitalistic society, bro. He sees an opportunity in the UK, especially where you make the most money, in my opinion, is being the middleman. He's just being the middleman, bro. He sees an opportunity. He's making a living from it. It's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying. It's coming like these guys got to be more annoying than shoe resellers, you know? Which one would you rank more annoying?
Driving instructors across the country about £100 a month directly into their bank accounts in exchange for their login details, which you then use to hoover up loads of driving tests and charge people significant amounts of money for it. Is any of that untrue?
Everything you said is a complete fabrication.
He probably doesn't see it that way, but I feel like as long as he's not breaking the law, which I don't think is illegal, you know, it's just bending the rules, getting instructor logins. The instructors are complicit in this as well because they seem happy to give their logins for what? They're saying £100, £250 a month, kickbacks of up to £250 a month. But let's read through the article. Driving instructors are being offered kickbacks of up to £250 a month to sell their official test booking login details to touts. An investigation has found. Touts use these login details to book driving tests in bulk and sell them to learners on WhatsApp and Facebook, charging as much as £500 for tests that should cost no more than £75. This makes it harder for learners to book through legitimate routes and adds to the already lengthy waiting times. And I have no clue how this stuff works, how the test reselling thing works. I have no idea. This is one thing I have no clue. So I'm interested. The BBC has also uncovered evidence that the outgoing head of the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency, Loveday Ryder, was told about these operations in February, yet some sellers reported to the DVSA are still operating. In response, the DVSA said it does not comment on specific complaints, but has a zero tolerance for those exploiting learner drivers. And there's also always going to be an unlimited supply of people wanting to get their license, learner drivers, and the fact that there's a backlog, huge market for this, huge market, you know, huge market. My cousin had to pay how much to get a test in like 2 months? 2 months he still has to wait. He had to pay that much for a test. It's mental. We have identified touts operating in London, Birmingham, Manchester, and the home counties. Posing as driving instructors, we approached them on WhatsApp and were offered monthly payments in exchange for login details to the DVSA system where instructors can book tests. One tout boasted he worked with more than 1,000 instructors, while another, Anil Ahmed, who goes by the name Ahadeen, said he signed up 2 instructors every week, We could not independently verify either of these claims. When we later confronted him in person, he denied any involvement, but we have found significant evidence implicating him. As long as if he's not breaking the law, bro, like, come on, louder guy, bro, louder guys. You need to get onto the DVSA for allowing this to happen. There needs to be better things in place. Why can instructors get priority to book tests? Why do you not make it so you have to? They need to just add more layers to booking tests. You know what I mean? To stop this from happening, this mass buying of tests. Because when I did my test, bro, my instructors never booked it once. I booked it and just told them. You know what I mean? I didn't know instructors could book tests for you. Separately, 30 instructors we spoke to across Great Britain, England, Scotland, and Wales said they had heard of test slots being sold at huge markups. Who hasn't? 10 of them told us they had been approached by touts or had spoken to other instructors who had been. Carly Brookfield, chief executive of the Driving Instructors Association, said that the schemes were an own goal for driving instructors that brings the profession into disrepute. Actually, it's not, because I feel like it just makes people have to take more lessons. You know, it's the fact that tests are hard to find. It's like people might do more lessons. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is a very small community of bad actors that have penalized the entire industry, adding that some already had their instructor licenses revoked. At the end of October, 642,000 learners in Great Britain were waiting to take a test. With 642,000 people are waiting with an average wait time of 21 weeks. The data shows there is a separate system in Northern Ireland. 642,000, that's over 500,000 people waiting to take a freaking driver's test, bro. That's mental. That's mental, bro. I remember when I was looking for my test, bro, it was just easy. All the tests were available, bro. But this was before, full on lockdown, bro. Waits can be as long as 6 months, according to learners we spoke to. Some say they are turning to touts out of desperation. Yeah, my cousin. People are getting desperate. People want their licenses. People want to get to work. People need to drive. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be this long to wait to get a driving test, bro. The government needs to properly intervene, because the DVSA are clearly failing here. They're clearly failing. A recent DVSA survey suggested about 1 in 3 learners had used third parties to book their driving tests. Everything's privatized in this country, man. Everything's privatized. What? A third are booked, and you could just book. You're supposed to be able to book tests on the government website straight away, but people having to go through third parties, like all these middlemen just taking drink off this, bro. It's mental. Transport Secretary announced plans to change driving test rules, which is hoped will stop touts and reduce the backlog. From the spring, only learners, not instructors, will be able to book test slots. Instructors we spoke to welcomed the Department of Transportation's proposals, but also said they had been raising these issues for some time and now want to know whether the government will root out rogue teachers. Tests have been bulk booked and resold for profit for years, but these instructors say it's now getting much worse. Of course it's getting much worse, bro. And these are some of the WhatsApp chats of them saying the driving test that they have available, man. It's like, freaking hell, bruv. You know how many people just want that, bro? But look, and then the total, £112. It's not crazy markup though. 112. It's annoying that you got to give £60 to a middleman like these shoe resellers, but it's not a crazy markup. We were first alerted to the concerns about touts by an instructor in West Yorkshire who emailed them. They told us they had been approached by someone offering £250 a month to buy their login details to the system that instructors use to book tests, called the Online Business Service. Learner drivers can only book one test, but instructors can book multiple slots. Okay. We decided to investigate and immediately found Facebook groups, Snapchat accounts, WhatsApp communities where hundreds of test slots were being posted for sale every day, costing up to £500 each. And tests are like £60, bro. And people are making the 500. People are making that much drink off them, bro. The names of certain resellers popped up frequently, and it was clear from the volume of tests being advertised that they had gained access to OBS. The shady system we uncovered appears to work as follows. Once touts are able to log in, they then use, I'm actually bare interested, guys, because I have no idea how this works. Like, I'm actually learning here. Once the touts are able to log in, they then use learners' license details harvested from customers buying tests from them to book slots, which they then sell at inflated prices to other learners desperate to ditch their L plates. Okay. So they use learners' license because they have to put someone's details to have the test held. But then I know you can change it, but I think they introduced a rule where you can only change the test a certain amount of times. Something like that. Using people, but then again, because there's such high demand for tests, are they gonna have to? They're not gonna have to change the learner that often. You know what I mean? Using people's licenses to book tests may breach data protection laws. The behavior of some instructors would also appear to be a violation of their terms. Well, no shit. During our investigation, frustrated instructors emailed us. Ian Pinto, who alerted us to a tout, says his children have spent 2 years trying to book a driving test, bro. 2 years. 2 years. Bro, this is dark. This is dark, man. His children at age 20 and 18 have spent the past 2 years. I think this is a little bit, maybe if they're waiting for a test in their area, you know, because they might be logging on every day, trying to find, etc. You know, these people are taking advantage of kids, and I don't want my kids' friends being taken advantage of by these guys. All right, I don't think it's that deep, bro. It's just people seeing a gap in the market, opportunity, and they're taking advantage, bro. One of the most popular resellers in his area is Ahadine. We linked his mobile phone number to a Facebook profile connected to Anil Ahmed, who lives in Luton. So why so many people just from Luton, bro? Posing as a driving instructor, we got in touch with him via WhatsApp, arranged a call. I signed up 2 driving instructors a week, he boasted. He claimed he's just bragging about how much he's making off this.
So we supply dates for the whole country, bro. Not
Yeah.
just Manchester. I'm going to guarantee you £100 a month into your account every month. Send me the login details.
It's like really, maybe you need to put some fear into driving instructors and just say, yo, you're going to really risk your livelihood for an extra £100 a month. At least however much they're making. Like, I need a percentage of the Pro Z. Like, I don't want £100 a month.
Username, email, password for that. And yeah, if you send that in, then we can just get the ball running.
And let's see, because he's bragging so openly about it, like, do you think he's smart enough, whoever the guy is on the phone, do you think he's smart enough to, like, you know, mask his location when he's logging in? Or is he logging into all these accounts with from the same IP address? If that's the case, it should be easy for them to shut it down, bro. The tout told us he could get driving tests at any test center and sell them to learners for between £222 and £242. A practical test costs £62 or £75 on evenings. I didn't know that. So he would make at least £140 on every test sold. He explained how we as driving instructors could buy a test slot for him for £192 and then sell it to a learner driver for up to £300, though he did add that this markup is perhaps unethical. But this is just a guy that's getting a bag. He's like, bro, this is what's happening. This is what people are doing. This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? I don't think these are bad guys, bro. They don't like. I don't think these are terrible people, bro. Like, finding them, running up on them like trying to catch a predator, bro, is you're doing too much, I think, bro. After our phone call, we made a fresh approach on Facebook to meet the tout in person. This helped us confirm his identity, as he gave us a phone number that was the same one. Okay. This is one thing with BBC documentaries. I guarantee you it's just going to end with nothing. When confronted in person, he refused to directly answer our questions and tried to deny being Mr. Ahmed, even though we responded to the name Anil as we approached him. That's what you got to do, though, man. Later in the conversation, he told us that evening we were putting to him was a complete fabrication. Yeah, we saw that. He offered £250 a month. Yeah, you guys get the gist of it, man. You guys get the gist of it. We use OBS. There's bragging. Okay, so now we've got the gist of it. Your views on that's just other people. Okay. We'll just see more stories. At the busiest test center, Good Maze in East London, 23-year-old student. I'm gonna respect you and not even try and say your name, but my broski told us he paid a tout £120 for a slot in March. Going through these people seems like the only way. If I could afford it, I'd pay again for a test even sooner. But they're asking for £400 to £500 for tests in December. Oh my God. His instructor, who runs Busy Bee Driving School, I've seen that. I'm sure I've seen that before. Said he couldn't remember the last time one of his students booked a test through an official route. One of my students just failed and he was in tears because his parents are going to have to pay over $500 for another test. That's the thing. Like, now it's failing. It puts more pressure on you because, you know, when you're taking a test, you're feeling the pressure already, you know, when the only good advice you can give to someone who's preparing to take their driving test is, bruv, just have confidence in your ability and just drive. You know what I mean? Just drive. Just remember what you've learned and just drive. You know what I mean? But when you're in the moment taking your test, obviously there's more things going through your mind. But on top of that now, the pressure on top of it is, shit, if I fail this test, I'm going to have to wait like 4 months and pay £500 for another test. There's too much pressure you're putting on people. It's not good for people's mental health. It's going to cause people stress. This might, you know, when you look at data, if there's data that could link it in maybe 10 years' time, I think we're going to see you might be able to link an increase in high blood pressure to this driving testing. And I'm being serious, man. You never know. He said the idea that other instructors were potentially involved made his blood boil. We're out here trying to work, make ends meet, and these guys are sat at home making hundreds of pounds, bro. But it's blame the DVSA. Don't hate me, hate the game. That's pretty much it. But yeah, man. Any of you guys looking for a driving test? You guys struggling to get a driving test, bro? I hope you can. I'm not about to say, well, here is the sponsor. We've got this. No, I'm not, bro. I wouldn't encourage buying driving tests from touts, bro. But sometimes you've got to, man. If you need a test, you just got to do it. It's what it is now, bro. It's what it is. Getting a test in London is what is impossible, because all the times my cousin's getting his driving test, yeah, because he's failed a few times, you know, but it was like the last time where I told you he went up there and they looked at the car and wouldn't let him do the test. That was a joke thing. I felt very, very bad for him. But what was I going to say? Yeah, all of his tests are outside of London. It's like mad drives. He's telling me places I've never heard of before. It's absolutely mental, bro. But we sip our matcha around here, you know what I mean? Blank Street coffee, bro. You see the white chocolate matcha, extra white chocolate, mix that, bro. This is the best drink ever. I'll be sipping on matchas. But anyone trying to get a driving test, man, I wish you luck. I wish you the best, you know. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, guys. I know it's simple, but hey, a lot has happened in the last few days. You know, for me, a lot has happened, bro. Obviously, goes without saying, bro, what's happened. Friggin' hell. Personal life, auntie's in hospital, bro. You know, she's the one who's tried to remain strong in that. Please pray for her. Just a lot, bro. Just a lot's just happened in the last few days, and in the last 2 months, nothing's happened, you know? And right now, I just feel like, I don't even know what I feel like, bro. You just keep going. You know what I mean? I don't feel any type of way. I don't feel pressure or anything like that. I just feel mellow right now. You know, like, cool. We all have times in our life where things start happening, and then it's like, okay, you move from here. Whenever things happen, you always look back at things and think, okay, I'm happy that happened. That's how you grow. Frontal lobe's going to be developed in like a year. You know what I mean? So we got to, yeah. Hey, anyway, guys, peace and love to every single one. Actually, Changli, what do you think? Changli says even in China you wouldn't be waiting this long for a driving test. Changli said you could get a driving test the same day in Hong Kong. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Fun fact from Changli. Peace and love to but don't trust an inanimate object. You know, don't trust. They might be lying. Who knows? Peace and love. Thank you, guys.